soft.
And don't leave out Dr. Jerry Punch. Happy New Year to him as well. East Carolina 17-14. And the noise you hear in the background is because the Pirates are just coming back on the field again. And Mike Gottfried, they have been quite a Cinderella story. They started off just as you had told me they might. A little rocky because maybe they were a little nervous about the first bowl game, but boy, have they ever settled down.
They settled down. The first quarter was North Carolina State. Second quarter was East Carolina. And the statistics will prove that. But again, big plays, and they made the big play, the long pass to Hunter Gallimore, which we're going to see. Jeff Blake went back to throw the football, was able to dodge the rush, waited. Look at this ball, thrown right on the money to Hunter Gallimore for the big touchdown. And North Carolina State can ill afford to give up the big plays. Now, on the other side of the ball, North Carolina State had success in the first half running the football. Here you go see Gary Downs. They ran for 86 yards in the first quarter, but in the second quarter, they only got 19 yards. So the second quarter was owned by East Carolina.
Well, right now, let's go down to Dr. Jerry Punch, and he is with Dick Sheridan on the sidelines. Gentlemen.
Coach, your team played an excellent first half, but some of the big plays hurt you.
Well, we gave up a lot of big plays, and East Carolina's been making those plays all year, and if we're going to win this ball game, we got to eliminate that in the second half.
Adjustments at halftime, Coach?
Well, they gave some looks on defense that they had not shown. We've tried to adjust to those.
Coach, good luck to you. Let's go over to Adrian Carson.
Jeff, you hearing me at all, Tom? Coach, you said that it's important for you guys to play this game the way you played the other 11 all year long. Has any lack of bowl experience hurt you at all so far?
I don't think so. I think in the first drive, our defense particularly was uneasy, unsettled. We had the 3 penalties that really aided them in their first drive. But I think our people after that are settled down. I think we're playing the game the way we need to. This thing's a long way from over because we're playing a mighty fine football team.
What do you have to do in the second half to beat the Wolfpack?
Well, the biggest concern I've got is that they've taken the ball, as we talked about, and they came right at us. We've got to play tougher on defense, be a little more physical on defense.
Good luck, Coach, second half. Go get him. Ryan, back to you, sir.
All right, thanks, Adrian. Thanks, Dr. Jerry Punch. Fine work down on the sidelines, gentlemen. And let's take a look at the statistics in that first 30 minutes of play. Mike, what do you see there?
Well, I think the key statistic, again, is look at the first quarter rushing for North Carolina State. 86 yards. East Carolina was held to -9, but in the second quarter, East Carolina ran the football with some success for 51 yards. NC State got away from it a little bit, only ran for 19 yards.
When you look at that average field position, it does wind up averaging out in the first half. But you remember we made the point. NC State, the first 3 times they had the ball in great field position. Then all of a sudden, because of turnovers and also a punt, then a score, field position changed for them, and they had to become a little bit more conservative offensively.
Well, I think in the second half, they really have to open up the game a little bit more. They still have to run the football, but Terry Jordan's got to try to get the ball to Charles Davenport, number 7, on the outside. They have not thrown the ball down the field deep, and you have to at least challenge East Carolina deep to keep them off the running game.
Anthony Brenner will kick it off. NC State won the toss to begin the ball game. They deferred to the second half, and that's the reason that they are getting the football. Lawrence and Barber, the 2 deep men for the Wolfpack. This will come down to Reggie Lawrence. 35 and all the way out to the 41-yard line. Now that is the way to get your offense going in the second half with that kind of field position.
Special teams again in a bowl game with the break. Just been such a factor this bowl year. Great field position. First 3 drives, NC State had the ball, 126 yards, 2 touchdowns. The last 4 drives, 7 yards. Good adjustments by East Carolina on defense. But again, they'll get back. North Carolina State needs to get back to what they did in the first drives.
Also, as we mentioned, field position played a part in those last 4 possessions. Barber. Jones will nail him at the 47, maybe the 48-yard line. Tell you what, that's pretty good combination to draw to right there. Jones and Barber.
That is excellent. Anthony Barber, number 24, the freeze option, and he was out there with a defender one-on-one, but was able to juke him and get pretty good yardage on first down. Here you see the tackle leaders.
Also, the superlatives offensively, Barber in downs, 103 rushing yards. And you can see the numbers on Blake in that first 30 minutes. The big fullback. He will have the first down and a couple more. Greg Maynard, the battering ram, across midfield, and he will have it down to the ECU 46-yard line as Derek Taylor and Gardillo combine to make the stop.
Ron, I've probably said this, I don't know how many games we've done this year, but I've probably said it every time. First 5 minutes of the third quarter is really important, and it's important for one of these two teams to draw on the edge. And the other thing to look for is the adrenaline that a team spends in a bowl game, how they play in the second half. Some teams sell out so much before in the early going first half that they don't have much left in the second half.
Barber, he gets tagged at the line of scrimmage. Didn't get much of a head start that time as Tony Davis, 53, a sophomore out of Boston, Mass, is there to make the stop. 12 carries now for 69 yards for him, for Barber. And they'll have him again next year. He's only a junior out of Garner, North Carolina. Aubrey Shaw comes in, replacing Barber, bringing the play from the sideline on the 2nd down and 6.
They threw a delay to Aubrey Shaw the last time, a little short route over the middle.
Jordan staying in the pocket. That is a great pass and catch situation to Aubrey Shaw. Jordan just stood tough. He had pressure coming all over him and delivered it right on the spot he needed to get it. Going to be short of the first down by 3.
I think Aubrey Shaw misread the coverage on an option route, which that was. He should have broke to the outside away from man coverage, but I think he read it as zone and hook, but still made the big catch.
I think you're exactly right. And it's 3rd down, and they have to take the ball to the 35-yard line. Pitch goes to down, and he is close. I don't think he made it. No. That's Jerry Dillon, the junior from Lake Placid, Florida, who helped stretch it out. And no, not from where they have marked it down. He's going to be yard and a half shy.
The outside linebacker made a big play on that for East Carolina, Jerry Dillon.
Michael, what do? Do you punt it or do you keep it going? As we see Davenport coming in, I think there's our answer.
I think you're going to need points to beat Jeff Blake in East Carolina. I think you're going to need a bunch more. And this is a gamble, but it's a gamble that Dick Sheridan feels like he has to make with that offensive team on the other sideline.
Maynard, 1st and 10, Wolfpack. Davis and Jones, the two middle backers, come up to make the hit.
See, I think when you're on the sideline and you're trying to figure how many points it's going to take to win, and you get some key situations like this in short yardage, and you know Jeff Blake, you want to keep him off the field. You don't want him on the field. And so if you can take these long drives, he's on the sideline over here, and you're just going to need some scores to beat him because he's capable of scoring on one play.
Remember, we told you off the top of the telecast that Scott Adell, the senior from Fletcher, was the best of the offensive linemen, and that's who they ran behind on that big 4th down play. Here's the pitch to Barber. Gets the juke and he's outside. Turns the corner. He'll go inside the 25 to the 24 before Grandison and Dillon combine on the stop.
I'm going to tell you something. Mike Cassidy, the defensive coordinator, is a graduate of the University of Kentucky. I knew him back when he was at Paducah Tillman High School. Was in great shape defensively there. He sent a blitz, but Barber's speed is able to get him outside in the corner turn to make the big play.
Well, you could see 15 minutes to play in the first half. The Qs out on top of Ohio State, 14-0.
Wow.
13 carries, 78 yards. Now for Barber. Fullback Maynard. Good 1-2 combination. Runs over a man. He is inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. That is tough running.
When you look at this play, what the fake by Terry Jordan is a fake of the toss play. So it stretches you. And watch the linemen here. Watch the blocks as they come off on the defensive lineman. Here's going to be the play. Watch the fake of the toss. You can't see it, but then Greg Maynard comes back inside for the big play.
Man that he almost ran over and injured was his own man. Linebacker blitz is up. Maybe 1 yard. Gary Downs, and that is great lateral pursuit this time by East Carolina to get outside and stop it.
Well, you can see what the strategy is of East Carolina right now. They're going to blitz the second half a little bit more. Watch, here you see the receiver, Charles Davenport, blocking, and you're going to see Fred Walker come into play. Number 22 make the tackle, and also number 34, Greg Floyd. Look for some kind of rollout pass here to the right for North Carolina State.
Pass complete at the 16. Touchdown, North Carolina State, Robert Hinton.
That should have been a 3-yard catch right there, but Robert Hinton with a good spin move made that a 15-yard touchdown.
It's his first catch of the afternoon. It is good for 6 points, and North Carolina State has gone back on top in this one. As we go to break, let's look at it one more time, and here's the pass Mike is talking about to Hinton. Caught right there, and watch what he does with it. Gets by Walker, gets by 2 more, keeps his balance. 21-17, our new score. ESPN's presentation of the 1992 Peach Bowl is brought to you by Volkswagen. Enjoy the unique European driving experience called Fahrvergnügen, only in a Volkswagen. And by Delta Airlines. We love to fly, and it shows. Welcome back to Fulton County Stadium. Last football game to be played in here. After this one, it's going to be over to the new Georgia Dome, they'll call it. And they just about have that thing complete. As you look at, that was Jordan, I guess, on the far side.
Okay, this is a growing bowl game. I'll tell you, they do a nice job here. The support that you get in the city of Atlanta. And Robert Dale Morgan's to be commended for the job that he has accomplished here. Look at this crowd. I mean, it's an enthusiastic crowd. It's a great day for a bowl game.
Gray skies, but the rains have ended. Just light sprinkles just before kickoff today. As Foulville kicks it on one bounce into the end zone. And let's take one more look at that touchdown and the move afterwards.
Should have been about a 3-yard completion. Watch number 10, Robert Hinton. Just stop. This is a smash play where the guy goes to the corner. Davenport, number 7. Now watch the bad angle here of the tackle. And he's able to spin out and go for the end zone, and watch him stretch out to make it a touchdown. Here's again, watch the spin move. 3 defenders.
And what you're talking about as far as angle, the sideline has got to be your other person.
You're right. You have to use the sideline. Just poor angles.
This is the worst field position for East Carolina today as they scrimmage for their own 20. And the crowd gets excited, but what you have to understand is offensive coordinators are not going to have splits or anything else that are going to be in favor of anything but running the football and getting some breathing room down here. Right, Mike?
That's right. And that was a play that they had some success with Cedric Van Buren, number 33. Eventually, watch for Jeff Blake to fake that play to Van Buren and roll out the backside and try to hit Luke Fisher coming across the middle.
By the way, Billy Ray Haynes, we mentioned off the top of the telecast, averaging 10.2 tackles a game. He already has 9 in this one. And it's the first series of the 3rd quarter. Play action. Incomplete. He wanted Luke Fisher. I'll tell you, North Carolina State had that one figured out about as well as you can. Even with the tight end, they had double coverage on him over the middle.
Had defended with Clayton Henry, number 88, David Merritt, number 34, but again, they tried to roll out and throw back to Luke Fisher. That's a play they've had a lot of success with all year. To give you the wango action to try to move your linebackers with the quarterback, and then they sit Luke Fisher right over the ball. But North Carolina State covered it very well.
Will be sacked. Ricky Logo, 3rd time of the Wolfpack today.
Looks like North Carolina State to me went back to more of a standard defense where they're just trying to play their defense, their 50 defense, and keep the 2 linebackers inside. And they got a little bit more of a pass rush there out of Akins, number 96.
That's been a thorn in the side of North Carolina State off and on this year, and that's pass rush. But 3 times they've gotten to the quarterback today.
They're a team that likes to defend the field rather than put a lot of blitzes on you, but they should end up with great field position right here after this punt.
John Jett waiting at the 1. And NC State has the return on. This is a good coverage kick. Not real long. Liddell George. And he gets tagged by Jones, breaks off the tackle, able to have 5 more. 7:50 left in the 3rd quarter. 21-17 Wolfpack. Well, it's a young East Carolina fan with the saber in hand. Nippy here in Atlanta, but nobody's feeling it right now.
Ron, this is a position in the field where I think you could take a chance and gamble with either a reverse pass or something deep to Davenport right here.
Good observation. And Jordan now with the shifting of the defense with the Pirates comes up with an audible, and they try to get outside with Barber on the run, and he will have a couple. That's it. And let's go back to Tim Brandel for an update. Timmy, what do you have for us?
Ron, Coach Gottfried mentioned a reverse pass. How about this? Russell White to Sean Dawkins, back to Pulowski to Russell White would lead to a Greg Zomalt touchdown run. California leading Clemson 7-0 in the 1st quarter at the Florida Citrus Bowl in Orlando.
Against that Clemson defense, they better pull out all the stops.
They better use reversals and everything, because they
tackle to tackle, you lose your head.
That's right. Big Chester McLaughlin and the gang.
Turn Chester loose. Happy New Year. Pitch to Barber. Ooh. There's a clip, and there's 1 flag, and now a second. And you know, it really didn't have to be, because the play was not going for that much. What's going to happen is NC State's going to wind up with a 2nd down and about 18 yards to go, because from coming from the spot, it was at least beyond the line of scrimmage.
2 penalties in this game have really hurt NC State. In the first half, they had a drive going where they were across the 50-yard line. They lost
Todd Harrison caught that beautiful pass.
Right, and lost yardage. They're going to lose field position here. I still think they've got to get the ball to Davenport somehow. He's the big play receiver for them.
Offense, 15 yards, repeat 2nd down.
On the penalties, 4 for 35 and 5 for 34 as you look at the season average in today as far as NC State is concerned. So now this one goes back to the 42-yard line. And the line to make is all the way down at the East Carolina 36. You're right, Mike.
Yeah, you got to pump it
That's
up.
huge.
You got to get the ball to Davenport here. You know, the penalties, they don't look like a lot, but the timing of the penalties have hurt both teams.
Intercepted by Jones. And the All-American linebacker will take it down to the 31-yard line. Well, if you want to know the numbers on the All-American, 8 tackles and now 1 interception for him on the day. Robert Jones.
You talked about field position changing on this interception. You're going to watch Robert Jones set in the curl area, and then he's going to break on the hook route and intercept the football of Terry Jordan. Watch him set up. Now he sets in the hook zone, picks off the pass. Field position now is East Carolina's favor.
Well, Jordan just for some reason became mesmerized and didn't see him. Blake. Oh, what a pass, and complete at the 20. Now they're going to say incomplete. Folks, I can't tell you with 3 people coming after him, throwing against the grain, how in the world he even got it away, let alone threw it that fine.
It's a good evaluation of coming to his left and putting the mustard on the football. He threw the football with good velocity, so he has good arm strength going both to the right and the left.
See the numbers on him today, 12 of 22, 181 yards. This is big, I think, as far as East Carolina is concerned.
Well, they had the turnover before that they didn't turn into points. They have to turn this into points.
Blake sets over the middle on the little delay. Johnson. And he will get hammered at the 24-yard line. Billy Ray Haynes continues to mount his total of tackles. Deion Johnson. That name works well in the stadium, doesn't it?
Sure does. Watch Dion. He's moving in motion, and the linebackers are dropping so deep that he's able to catch the ball underneath. Now you look for him to try to break some tackles. If you're North Carolina State, Billy Ray Haynes, number 50, you really have to wrap Dion Johnson up.
Third down. The line to make is the 22-yard line. Movement by East Carolina. She'll now make it a third down and about 8.
And Bill Lewis shakes his head saying, guys, how many times have we jumped off?
Illegal procedure. 5 yards. Offense. Repeat third down.
Well, their third down receiver has been number 91, Luke Fisher. In the past, they've been able to go to him.
Clayton Driver has come in at split end, replacing Hunter Gallimore. And he is to the right at the top of your screen along with Johnson. Blitz up the middle. It's Haynes. Pass is put up for the end zone for Driver. Incomplete. Savage was the closest man to it for NC State.
Interesting strategy by Billy Lewis and his offensive staff. Steve Logan, the offensive coordinator, they felt the blitz was coming. They were right. They kept the tight end in. Luke Fisher to block, and they had a one-receiver route. And that's what they were trying to hit. They had it against man coverage. They had exactly what they wanted. Just good coverage by North Carolina State.
So it stops the clock with 6:29 remaining, third quarter. This will be a 46-yard field goal attempt by Anthony Brenner. Got the distance, but no, off to the right.
Two key words here, missed opportunities. Twice on turnovers by NC State. East Carolina has failed to score points. Looked like he got underneath it just a little bit and popped it up and didn't get enough of the drive into it. Anthony Brenner, number 13.
It's like when you try to... Let's go down to Adrian Karsten. Adrian?
Well, Ron, with the ECU defense just coming back in, they've suffered a key injury to linebacker Ken Burnett. Jerry, we can actually see on the x-ray here where exactly the break is. Now, how do you treat this?
He has a fracture of the mid-shaft of the radius, the large bone here in the forearm. You see in the lateral view, there's some overlapping of the bone fragments. He also has some rotation here. Now, they're going to cast him here. What will probably happen, they'll take him back to Greenville, North Carolina tomorrow and probably take him in the operating room of surgery and put a plate right here, maybe about 6 or 7 screws in to hold this together. It should heal nicely, but he's going to be out for about 8 weeks.
All right, Jerry, thank you. Well, Ron, now really the responsibility for this defense falls in the arms of Tony Davis, Ken Burnett's replacement.
Ken Burnett, a senior from Spruce Pine, North Carolina. We wish him well. That, by the way, that catch by Davenport, only his second of the game. He has 2 for 15, and he ran into his own man, Scott Adell. Otherwise, he might have had a lot bigger game. Jordan zips this one incomplete. Robert Hinton, who caught that swing pass for a touchdown earlier in the third quarter, was the man he wanted.
Just ran out of room. They had a corner route on, and he just ran out of room. Robert Hinton, number 10 from Terry Jordan. Look for him on third down here. Maybe try to run the football again. They're getting away from the running game a little bit too early. They've had success in the first quarter. Credit East Carolina in the second quarter for shutting them down.
North Carolina State 5 of 10 on third down conversions today. They need the ball all the way out to the 39. He's got it. Davenport. Greg Grandison has to make the stop, but there's the man that Mike Gottfried was talking about that they have got to unleash.
Got to get the ball to Charles Davenport, number 7. Watch him with just a little bit of an in route. You see the cushion he gets. Defender fell down, makes the catch for the first down across the 45-yard line. Greg Floyd, number 34, was the defensive back that fell down, came up with the play. Now get back to the running game on first down.
Well, he's got those first 2 in there, Maynard and Barber, who they like to run with, and he goes with Maynard, the fullback. You can see Robert Jones, one of the first men, number 44, to rock his head back and send him in the opposite direction, just shy of the 50.
And he's sending a 240-pound fullback back the other way. Robert Jones is a player, and it seems like he's played here forever. I coached at Pitt against him, and Greg Gardell from Johnstown, PA, the defensive tackle, number 59, was also in on the play. But Robert Jones, a very active linebacker, reminds me of Quentin Correa from Texas A&M.
Barber, hold as he gets stuck at the line of scrimmage, a gain of 1. But he had to pay for it. Freddie Walker came up and was assisting after he'd been hit around the ankles. And the first man was Gardell, who did hit him low, and then Walker came up and finished him off.
East Carolina's defensive strategy now has become very simple. They're blitzing on first and second down and trying to force NC State out of running the football on first and second down. So they're going to have to throw on first down a little bit more and try to open their game, run the ball on third down. But East Carolina's doing a nice job of trying to pressure this NC State offense right now.
Second or sixth play of the drive, you see the blitz coming past to Davenport, and look out. Oh boy. Greg Floyd barely grabbed him at the ankle as he had made an outside move on him.
That's the trade-off. If you're going to blitz somebody, then you're going to be in loose man coverage. Watch the blitz come here. They're just doing a lot of blitzing right now. Three-step drop by Terry Jordan. Hits Charles Davenport on just a quick look-in route. And now number 34, Greg Floyd, has to make the tackle. So you have, it's whatever poison you want to decide right now. You try to stop the run, you try to stop the pass, but you got to guess right.
NC State has already had more third and longs in the third quarter than they have in the entire first half, though.
You're right, they have.
Try to counter the option. He does. Breaks off the tackle, and it'll be first and goal at the 9-yard line. And when they look at the video again, whoever the player was who hit him at the line of scrimmage didn't lock up. He had him for a loss.
I don't think, Ron, I think you're right, but I'm not sure he even saw it. He's going to turn, and then he's going to come down the line. He's going to turn, come down the line right here. The defensive player comes in and makes contact, but I'm not so sure he even knew he had the football. Let's watch. Good block. That was a good block by the tight end. And then he's able to get up inside for good yardage. Good block by the tight end, Todd Harrison, number 84.
Yards on that sprint for the quarterback, Jordan. Downs at the 1.
Now look for the jet over the top. The ball to go to the tailback and the leap over the top right here on second down. That's number 45 over the top. Okay, the big fullback.
Greg Maynard, touchdown for North Carolina State.
Good job by the offensive line of North Carolina State. Opening it up for Greg Maynard. They took Garrett Downs, the tailback, in motion. Brought a linebacker out of the inside and just sent the big fullback, Greg Maynard, in the line for the touchdown.
Block. So, interestingly enough, that would have made it an 11-point game, and now we're back on track. It's a 10-point game.
I think Robert Jones may have got that. Somebody got it up inside because there wasn't a lot of arc on that football.
So we go to break. 27-17. It's the Wolfpack on top. And for those thousands you spend on them attempting to matriculate, it makes you understand that they are getting the kind of education that makes them take off their shirt on a 36-degree day.
Well, Robert Jones, let's watch number 44 right here. He's going to leap up along with Jerry Dillon, but he gets it with Robert Jones, number 44, gets it with his left hand. And you like to block college kicks up inside because they've taken away the tee. And they don't get the height right off the ball that you need to get sometimes, and they were able to get up there. Robert Jones has controlled this football game. He has played a great game for East Carolina.
And for sure he has 12 tackles, 1 interception, and 1 block point after. 10-point game. It is incumbent upon his offense to get something going. Down 27-17. Johnson from 2 yards deep. Just like that. At the 47-yard line. They're going to say it's a 49-yard return. William Strong saved what could have been 6.
East Carolina did as fine a job of blocking that kickoff return as you're ever going to see. Watch the blocking set up. It's a left return. Why? There's a block. There's the second block. Missed tackle. Now the blocking going downfield. Good job saving the touchdown by forcing him into the sidelines.
Van Buren going to be knocked down for a loss, and it's Haynes. Billy Ray Haynes has had an equally outstanding day on the North Carolina State side of the ball.
I agree totally. He's done the same thing as Robert Jones done on the other side of the field. First down, East Carolina maybe running the outside stretch play in getting into a pattern because NC State really looked like they played that one pretty well.
Lofted pass caught by Luke Fisher, and he is inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. "17 yards in the play. Van Buren will take it to the right side for 3, maybe 4 yards. Cedric, a junior out of Charleston, South Carolina. Doesn't have great speed, but he's very durable, very dependable back.
They like their extra back to sometimes be a receiver, and they haven't had the yardage in the rushing game that they'd like to have this year. They haven't run the option much in this ball game at all.
11 carries, 65 yards for Van Buren. Draw play. Daniels hit at the line of scrimmage, and he is going to lose a yard on the play. And guess who? Billy Ray Haynes.
Billy Ray Haynes saw the blocking pattern of the offensive line. Watch number 50, the linebacker. He sees it's a draw. Watch him break up, make the tackle. The offensive right tackle couldn't block him because he read it so soon, and he was up inside. There's just no way to block him on that play. 5-10, Billy Ray Haynes.
Third down, they need the ball inside the 29. Got a man. Oh, my goodness, Gallimore dropped it. Had him cutting toward the sideline, and he had beaten his man. And I tell you what, the guy who just looked over at the bench and went, whoa, is Dwayne Washington, because he had turned him loose.
I think they have to go for this on 4th down here. I think Jeff Blake needs to stay on the field. They need to try to pick this first down up. Watch Hunter Gallimore, number 82. Here's the clear out. There you see him come underneath. The linebackers drop so deep. There you see Billy Ray Haynes trying to get to him, but he can't stay with him. Just drop the football. I'd come back with something similar to that because of the drop of the backers. Now this is going to be an interesting call, Ron.
The line was still, they had not gone to a 3-point. And I think, well, let's wait.
I think this, what do you think?
I think it's going to be on the defense because of the contact.
Because he was just moving just to set.
Right. Yeah, he was moving to set. They have not gone to the 3-point.
I think they've got a real discussion here because as I watch this, I'm not sure how you'd call this one.
Red ball. Ball start. Offense. 4th down.
I don't know about that call now. Going to see the replay here. Let's see. See what the officials saw. Yes, left guard moved.
Yep, good call.
Hey, what an officials group. The Big 8 group. We've got a Big 8 group in here today. Good job.
John Laurie is the referee, and it's an excellent call. Yeah, we didn't see him move inside, but that's certainly against the offense. Good high pooch kick this time. Turner back deep, and he's going to try to catch it. Why? Inside the 5-yard line. Good heavens.
You have a 10-yard rule all the time where you tell your players don't ever catch anything inside the 10-yard line.
Well, you thought this was the last college football game at ESPN this season. Well, think again. All-Star season begins on January the 11th with the Japan Bowl from Yokohama. BYU's Ty Detmer leads the nation's best senior talent when West meets East next Saturday, 10 o'clock Eastern time. I made that trip last year. Very interesting. Yokohama. They enjoy the football over there.
They have any spaghetti or Italian food?
No, they didn't have any spaghetti. They had a lot of pom-poms, though. It's probably going to be the final play of this third quarter. Yep, it will be. So we go to the final 15. Let's take a break. It is North Carolina State 27 and East Carolina 17. Well, Dick Sheridan and his staff, knowing that they have got a 10-point lead, but against the offense of East Carolina, what they better do is they better have some more sustained drives and take time off the clock because they're very explosive.
They need a big drive right here. They've got poor field position.
Barber, and he's going to be whacked down hard at the line, and now here comes in a late flag. Tony Davis made the stop. Tony is the man, of course, replacing Ken Burdett, who you saw the guys down on the sideline. It is going to be holding against the Wolfpack. Showing the x-rays of his broken leg.
Came from the
broken
side.
Arm, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, this penalty came from the side, Judge, so it probably was on the tight end. Came deep in the backfield of East Carolina.
Offense. The penalties decline. Third down.
An interesting call, declining that penalty, but now they put the
there he is right there. That Ken Burdett. Already got that thing in a cast, and as Dr. Jerry Punch said, to put some pins in it tomorrow. Okay, third down. Here we go. They need the 15-yard line. Mark Washington comes across to knock down Barber on a huge defensive play. And now the Pirates should get good field position.
They went to a 4-3 scheme and brought the linebackers. Mark Washington, number 99, got penetration on Barber. He never had a chance to cut that. So a good call by Billy Lewis to turn down the penalty. Now he's forced him into a fourth down situation. They're going to have great field position. They should try to block the punt again.
Ball for an average of just over 36. His longest is 50. And again, a high passer coming after him, and they didn't plane out. I think they could have blocked it. Johnson, meanwhile, fumbles it, and North Carolina State has recovered at the 48. Oh, NC State or East Carolina with a mistake at both ends of the play.
You're totally right. As special teams again. I said it at the beginning. They're still trying to argue who's got the football. They gave a signal for North Carolina State, and they're giving it again. But you're right, Ron. They had a chance to block the kick. They just didn't extend the arms to try to take it off the foot of the kicker. And then on the other end, Deion Johnson fumbled the return. And I've said all along in this bowl season, the kicking game has played such a big part because of the layoff that coaches haven't got the time and to work with the players because you take the breaks. Here's the possible block. See, he's got his hands straight up. He's got to take it off the foot.
Go parallel to the ground.
No, you're right. He's a special teams. He's got to take the ball off his foot. Then on the other side, you have the dropped ball, and North Carolina State picks it up.
Well, it was a mistake of about 45 yards. Has dropped for a loss. Derek Taylor comes across and hits Jordan. So the defense doing their job. But the special teams right there cost them. We'll see how dearly it does cost them.
I'll tell you what, this game reminds me of a boxing match where you got East Carolina on the ropes and just about ready to go out, but North Carolina State can't knock them out. It's like George Foreman against Evander Holyfield. He stays in there, and the longer they stay in there with that potent offense, they can get back in this game with a quick strike.
No, you're right.
This is a key drive for NC State to try to put them away.
Trick play here. That's a lateral. He can throw it. He has to dodge the pigeon, then gets the pass away. And Davenport will make the catch and score. Hardman had one blocked a moment ago and knocks this one through. Let's go back and look at the trick play as the lateral went back behind Terry Jordan, and as we said, you know, you can only throw one pass in a play, but that's a lateral. So this one sets it up. Liddell George.
When you get to the 50-yard line, that's where you want to try your trick plays. And what happened here is Liddell George threw the high fly to Charles Davenport, but Fred Walker, number 22, you're going to watch Davenport come down inside. He's the big play receiver on this. There's two receivers. Now the ball's going to be thrown up. Watch number 22. Fred Walker just loses the football and can't come around and find it. He spun around, and Charles Davenport had his eyes on that ball all the time and made the reception.
So all of a sudden, it is a 17-point game, and 3 plays ago, East Carolina should be looking at the worst, a safety in their behalf and getting the ball back, if not a touchdown on the blocked kick, and all of a sudden they've been scored on, and they're down almost to the point of too much hill to climb.
They're not out yet, but I'll tell you, that was a blow right there to the head. And you just had to figure eventually Davenport, being the big play guy, was going to make some kind of big play. Now, East Carolina still has 13:01 on the clock with Jeff Blake. They still need to just take their time and be patient, try to work their way back in the game, not come back firing and try to throw deep and get an interception picked off against them. North Carolina State's strategy now will be to loosen up a little bit and give you the 5- and 7-yard catches and make you work the clock.
Foul with the kick. Wind is going to hold this one up, and in fact, a fair catch was signaled for at the 15-yard line by David Daniels. Tim Brando, what do you have for us?
Ron, you and Mike have been talking about the kicking game and practicing it. Watch Brian Treggs on the return, and look at the wall of blockers set up. The final block thrown by number 1, Darrell Brown, right there, keying Brian Treggs 72 yards. Clemson is not trailed by 17 all year. They're down by that many with 2:51 remaining in the first at the Florida Citrus Bowl.
Tim, when you have those big layoffs and coaching and working timing and everything, the kicking game is the one area that really in bowl games can stand out. And boy, this bowl season has been a big standout.
Blake over the middle, wanted Luke Fisher, and there's nothing there. And now just to reinforce what Mike was talking about, the linebackers, there was a wall set about 7 yards off the ball, and the defensive backs looked like they were in outfield in baseball.
The Atlanta Braves outfield, they were deep back against the wall. They're going to make them work now. To work the field, try not to give them the big strike that they gave to Hunter Gallimore early in the game.
12 minutes and 56 seconds left to play in this one. East Carolina led it at halftime, but in the second half, it has been all the red and white of the Wolfpack of North Carolina State. Over the middle, complete to Driver this time. To the 31, Billy Ray Haynes makes a stop, and that will move the chains for the Pirates.
That's exactly what North Carolina State's plan is. They'll probably mix in some blitzes and play some zone coverage behind it, but make this East Carolina team work the field.
Quick out pass, this time to Gallimore. Around the 40-yard line is Sebastian Savage. And Dr. Jerry Punch, what do you have for us?
Guys, you know how tough it is to win a national championship. NC State did it twice in basketball. 74 with Norm Sloan, 83 with Jim Valvano. But the cheerleaders behind me have done it 3 times in the past 5 years. They are the national champion cheerleaders of all Division I. And they certainly have the emotion pulsating here on the Wolfpack sideline. Back upstairs.
Blake taps one time, and then he's going to go up on top. And it is intercepted at the 5-yard line by Mike Reed.
East Carolina tried to get the bundle on that play. Mike Reed, number 3, was in pretty good position. Looks like a little bumping again on number 85, Clayton Driver. Ball was thrown a long way, intercepted by Mike Reed.
Reed 9 tackles and 1 interception in the ball game. Not very good field position for NC State, but they simply couldn't care less. They just want to take some minutes off the clock, and I think this is not the first time we'll see Maynard hammer with the football.
Boy, that graphic that we just saw on the screen, 4 turnovers for East Carolina in this game, and 2 turnovers for North Carolina State. But let's go back. The 2 turnovers that North Carolina State had, East Carolina did not turn into points, so missed opportunities. And I talked earlier around about how sometimes the adrenaline flows so quick and you push so hard in the first half and preparing for a bowl. I think NC State has a little bit more in reserve right now in the second half.
Maynard again. He will take it about a yard shy of the first down. I'll tell you what, if you guys can get a shot, that pigeon is still about 2 yards off the line of scrimmage, and he's not moving for anything, is he? Can you see what the officials now walking up to him, trying to get him to get up and fly, and he's just going away at that. Some kind of seed that's on the ground.
I'll tell you one thing, that seed's more important than his life because he's about ready to get stepped on. That's an eating pigeon there, boy. Put an ISO on that pigeon.
Maynard hammers it up the middle. And Adrian Karsten, what do you have for us here in this fourth quarter?
Well, Ron, I'm afraid unlike what Jerry Punch found across the field on the other sideline, cheerleading is the last thing you will find here. The one thing that Coach Lewis was bothered by earlier in the week, he said, North Carolina State has been to 4 straight bowls. We haven't been to a single one. They've been down by a couple of touchdowns, nationally ranked teams, but with about 10 minutes left to go in this game, I'm afraid midnight may have struck for Cinderella.
Well, there's something about a bowl experience. North Carolina State has it. East Carolina will be back in bowls, I'll guarantee you that.
Now that running play will come out near the 25.
This is amazing. That bird has not moved. He's still right there at the 18-yard line.
In fact, officially on stats, we've just been given to East Carolina 49 yards passing in the second half, Pigeon 85.
Well, I don't know what the pigeon's passing, but he's still there.
34-17. About to go under 10 minutes to play in this one. Pitch to Barber. He will be hit as he tries to turn the corner. Mark Washington and Robert Jones combining in the stop, and a late flag has come down at the line of scrimmage.
Folks, there's what we're talking about. That pigeon right there has not moved. They've scrimmaged around him. They've just missed him a couple times, and there's just some things more important in life, and I guess it's food. Those seeds that they put down there, that pigeon is not going to leave till he has every seed. Look at it.
Holding. Offense. The penalties decline. 3rd down.
Well, the official walked up to him a bit ago and started to kick at him and then thought better of it, and I'm sure because there'd be some kind of activist watching or in the stadium who would come and protest.
I tell you, I'd like to have that pigeon on my team because he's not afraid of anything. Players miss him. It's almost like the players are trying to avoid him too. Don't bother him while he's eating.
Well, they run away from him. They go right up the middle, maybe a yard of the play. And we've just been handed the attendance, 59,322. It's a Peach Bowl record. The previous record, 1987. Tennessee and Indiana had just over 58,000.
Change that. 59,322 and a hungry pigeon.
Tim Kilpatrick. When you look at the box score, you will look and see that he punted and punted well, but he has been an integral part and has done an extremely good job in the special teams for North Carolina State. Deion Johnson is back in a single safety. Off the side of his foot, and just as soon as he gets Bragg done, that punt will be at around the 30-yard line. We'll be right back. ESPN's presentation of the 1992 Peach Bowl is brought to you by Delta Airlines, We love to fly, and it shows. And by Budweiser, the king of beers, with that clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats us. Now part of the record crowd on hand for this 1992 edition of the Peach Bowl, the 24th edition. Next year will be indoors. It'll be in prime time on January the 2nd. He played it at the Georgia Dome. Blake's pass complete underneath. Johnson's going to be wrapped up as he goes to the 23-yard line. Now Texas A&M and Florida State 7-2. Seminoles leading that one with a minute left. Syracuse at halftime over Ohio State. And to tell you, 17-0 California leading Clemson with Clemson's offense. That's almost too much of a hill to climb for them.
California has good defense.
Pass is complete and out of bounds at the 15-yard line is Van Buren.
That punt of 10 yards really has given great field position to East Carolina. Second half, here you see the possessions. Punt, missed field goal, punt, and interception. They've got to cash this one in to get back in this football game.
Blitz up the middle, pass incomplete. Gallimore's who he wanted. Billy Ray Haynes was streaking up the middle, and the senior out of Forest City, North Carolina, had a pretty good lick on Blake just as he delivered it. 18 of 33, 2 interceptions, 247 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Those are the numbers on Blake.
East Carolina's been able to come back this year on several occasions. Syracuse game, there's a lot of time left, 8 minutes in this game.
To the far side, caught by Fisher. 1st and goal for East Carolina.
Boy, nice route by Luke Fisher. He ran a corner route, but what was more impressive was the fact of the way he reached out and put his hands on this football. Watch the corner route now, breaks away from number 32 on defense, but watch the catch here. Reaches up, brings the ball back in. Sebastian Savage, number 32 on coverage.
It's 7 catches for Fisher for 94 yards.
He is a good receiver, and Jeff Blake likes to go to him.
Fade route incomplete. Van Buren's the man he wanted.
They had success on their touchdown that they scored early, the first touchdown on a play-action pass down here. They tried to run the option. You remember the second time down and get thrown for a loss. You want to put Jeff Blake in some kind of position where he's running outside with the ball with a pass-run combination.
Pass overthrown. Fisher is the man he wanted. Well, they really have shown disdain for the run down here, haven't they?
Well, it goes back to, again, they haven't had a good running game all year. The running game's off the option, and they like to put Deion Johnson in the backfield. Their whole belief is they want the ball in Jeff Blake's hands, and they want him throwing the football. But so much, when you get down here, some of the times the biggest question mark you have to have is whether they're going to play a coverage of zone or man, because you don't have a lot of field to work with down here. That's why I like rolling him out. If I'm going to roll him, I want to roll him out.
Option play. Did he get in? Yes. Touchdown. Jeff Blake.
Tough to defend in the goal line. That's the option that they ran. They came back and ran a different option. Steve Logan, good call, the offensive coordinator. Ran the option to the left, and the pitch man, Charles Miles, was taken, and Jeff Blake just ran it in for the score. Then another option quarterback, passing quarterback for Jeff Blake, kid named Travis Hunter in 1988 and 89, and was very effective as a quarterback for East Carolina.
Kick by Brenner is good, and let's, as we go to break, take one more look at that touchdown by Jeff Blake.
I think the crowd's booing because they didn't think he got in the end zone. Let's see.
Looks like a good call. I don't think his knee was on the ground. So let's take a commercial. 10-point lead by the Wolfpack. 7:26 left in this one. 10-point game at North Carolina State. And Mike, is it too early for an onside kick?
No, I think if you're North Carolina State, you got to figure they may onside kick here. You're down 10 with 7:26 in the clock. You got that option, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if they onside kick it.
He boots it away. It's going to be Lawrence from the 13. Hang on. Lawrence all the way out to the 46-yard line. And right now the East Carolina staff is saying, heck, if we'd onside kicker, we wouldn't give it up much more field position than that.
Well, you know, you got to take some chances. But East Carolina's a team that's come back all year. They're not out of this ball game. There you see what they did against Syracuse. They came back and
they were down 20-10 in that one. He came back.
Won 23-20 against a very good Syracuse team. Pittsburgh 24-23.
So they are capable with their offense, and your point is well taken. They're not out of it, and particularly with just about 7.5 minutes left. And that's exactly what Dick Sheridan had wanted either, and that is to run out of bounds and stop the clock.
No, and they're running inside to the short side again because of the strong safety and the coverage that East Carolina's given. They've got the extra man there into the boundary, so look for them to stay into the boundary.
Well, that's been their motto all year. They have a lot of faith that they can make it happen.
You know, they've just had a great coaching job, Billy Lewis. He talked about after the Syracuse game, looking at the players' faces after the game when they had lost, and he said, I knew then I had a special bunch because it meant something to them and that they were just anxious to come back and play again and win. And they've had a great year. I don't care what happens here.
Draw play. Barber will be wrapped up as he crosses midfield by Tony Davis.
You know, just imagine what they've accomplished, though. Haven't been to a bowl game for a long period of time. They've had good coaches. Mike McGee was coach at East Carolina. Ed Emery, Art Baker, Pat Dye did a good job there. But Billy Lewis took this team, and after the 4th game, they were ranked 39th in the country. They only had 4 points in the AP poll, and they've come all the way to 12th. East Carolina.
Short drop and a quick out pass incomplete. Eddie Goings, oh, what happened? He just kind of looked around as though he heard somebody coming. He should have caught that one.
Watch the throw by Terry Jordan, and again you see the receiver just take his eye off the ball. Well,
let's see if Kilpatrick with a 10-yard kick his last time. As you look at Johnson, had a no-no that was costly. He fumbled a punt here in the second half. Johnson will let it go, and it will go into the end zone, just barely. Dr. Jerry Punch, let's get an update from him. Jerry.
Gentlemen, the signature for the Wolfpack the past 3 years has been defense, ranked in the top 10 in the nation, and 2 of the guys standing beside me, the little guys here, were primary reasons. Mike Jones, off that bowl-winning team of a year ago, now playing defensive tackle for the Phoenix Cardinals, and All-American and first-round draft choice Ray Agnew with the Patriots. And Ray, you guys have really turned it around. Coach Mack doing a great job.
Yeah, Coach Mack is a great coach. We're glad to have him. He brought the fun back to New England. I hope he stays there as long as I'm there.
A couple of players that NC State would like to have on defense right now as they try to hold on these last 6.5 minutes. Back upstairs.
Thanks, Jerry. Continued success to both of them. 10-point game. East Carolina looking to try to come up with something. And Gallimore makes a reception, and he really takes a blow. I think that's a long pass. It's a very hard pass to throw. And Blake just doesn't even wince. He just zips it out there.
Has so much confidence in his throwing ability and his accuracy and the velocity that he puts on the ball. Just a very confident quarterback.
Over the middle. This time it's Van Buren, and he will be down at the 34-yard line. Good for the first down, so it looks as though exclusively from the shotgun formation is how East Carolina will run this final 6 minutes and 9 seconds. And with their offense, as we mentioned, I don't think you can ever count them out.
No, and they've got good receivers. If you're North Carolina State, you want to make sure you wrap up and you tackle. You don't want missed tackles now because you're going to give them a short route. Don't miss tackles.
Well, one guy who just hadn't dropped them today, but he did there, is Luke Fisher. Already had 7 catches for 94 yards, and that one he lost concentration on and dropped.
They're a score away and an onside kick away from taking the lead in this ball game because they're very capable, as we talked at the start of the show, the big plays that they've had through the year. Billy Lewis, just a great job coaching this year.
On second down, has his man at the 50, Clayton Driver, and down to the NC State 45-yard line.
See, there was a missed tackle there on Clayton Driver, and he picked up an extra 5 yards. Now they go with the no huddle. They continue to go with the no huddle. You see the slow snap. Watch the crossing route underneath. That gets the linebackers up, and that's what opens it up for number 85, Clayton Driver. Then the missed tackle, 5 more yards.
Pass is complete, and it will be down to the 37-yard line. And you could hear the groan by the crowd. And what I think it was the NC State crowd, the tackle or the guard on the right side, and I couldn't pick up who it was because I had to stay with the quarterback. Blake just tackled the defensive lineman as he came across.
Looked like a holding call, wasn't called. And I think then people were expecting Jeff Blake to run the football and pick up some yardage, but he wants to throw the football.
That will be enough for the first down, I believe, if they give him a spot at the 35, and they do.
You're seeing a team that believes in the 2-minute offense. As I said earlier, I watched them work it. I watched both teams. So North Carolina State has worked this very part of the game also. They know what to expect. Now it becomes just a group that's going to execute the better.
Well, you can see from the spotting they did not pick it up.
Keeps the clock moving also. No, he got out of bounds. So
Yeah.
it's still 5:09.
He did get out of bounds. We had trouble. There are so many kids on the sidelines right there that it obscured our vision. We're in 4-down territory anyway. And I'm surprised. I guess he wanted to make sure that he went ahead and picked it up. But I'm a little surprised that they did that to take time off the clock.
Well, they know the clock will stop now, and they'll have a chance now to get back. Clock still hasn't started. Now it starts.
Pass is complete, and that is good for 9 yards. It's Fisher, his 8th grab of the day. Now, for people sitting at home saying, what is NC State doing? What they're doing is they're cushioning, as Mike said, with the linebackers, and that's the void zone. If they bring them up, then you hit them deeper, right in between them and the safety.
You've seen them hit Hunter Gallimore behind the linebackers. If they cover Hunter Gallimore, they go underneath just like they are here.
Fisher with the catch. It'll be an East Carolina first down inside the 20-yard line. Tyler Lawrence is there defensively. The other thing I want to get you to comment on is the fact that this shotgun formation is a couple of yards deeper than what most people use.
He is deep, and because he has such a strong arm, he can back him up a little bit further, and they're not getting much of a rush. So they're only rushing 3 people on him. But now, where the problem has come from East Carolina is once they've gotten inside the 15-yard line and running out of room. Now, see if they can solve that on this series.
Big pressure this time, and he just throws it away.
NC State decided to get a blitz on him to try to get a little bit more pressure and try to get him to hurry.
And you know, now the discussion goes on. He had no time to look at it, but NC State had messed up their coverage. Fisher had broken open at the 5-yard line, and that's the reason the defensive backs are having their little powwow down there in the secondary.
Man coverage, had a crossing route. Somebody lost a man, that's why he was open. But Jeff Blake just didn't have time to get rid of the football.
Good time for him to have that kind of pressure, huh?
Good call defensively.
Johnson over the middle at the 5. He'll score. Now then, I think you go for 2 here.
I think you do. I think you consider going for 2 here to put yourself in a chance for a field goal to win the game.
Yep, and that's what they're going to do.
They like the option on the 2-point play. They ran it earlier against Pitt in the year, but it doesn't look like a formation for the option.
And now a timeout is called. So they burn one of the 3. Let's take it with them. 34-30. Well, here's the situation. NC State 34-30, and East Carolina lined up to go for 2 and to put them in a position to win with a field goal should they be good on the 2-point conversion, but they called the timeout.
Now they're in more of a formation to run the option. I'm not sure that's what they'll call at this time, but remember the 2-point play against Pitt was an option play.
Ball is dropped, and Blake can only go down to make the recovery. So the situation is now, you got to score a touchdown, get the football back and score a touchdown if you're going to win this 24th Peach Bowl game.
We talked about what North Carolina State had to do on defense. They're playing a lot of zone coverage, and you have to break on the ball. Here they brought a linebacker late on Jeff Blake, but watch the missed tackles. That's what you can't afford. There's 1, there's 2, and that's what causes the touchdown. You have to keep people in front of you in zone coverage, make the tackle, do not miss the tackles in that situation.
All right, now Dick Sheridan understands this situation better than anybody. They can't have a 1-2-3 and out. They've got to pick up at least 1 first down because East Carolina's last 2 scoring drives, 7 plays, 32 yards, 1 minute and 15 seconds. The other 11 plays, 80 yards, 2 minutes and 6 seconds, so they can score in a very short period of time.
Well, now that really the strategy comes right here for Billy Lewis. Do you onside kick here or not? I think now you kick the ball deep. Before I felt like you should have had the onside kick. Now I'll kick the ball deep. I have 2 timeouts. Count on my defense to hold them. Try to get myself field position where I can come back and win it at the buzzer.
Lawrence and Barber, the 2 deep men. Benner's kick going to come down to Lawrence. The fate of the 1986 Peach Bowl rested on the shoulders of Virginia Tech kicker Chris Kinzel. With North Carolina State leading 24-22, Kinzel booted a 40-yard field goal. This on the final play of the game. And Virginia Tech got its first ever bowl victory. Well, we mentioned to you that there have been some fantastic finishes. They try the reverse, and Davenport is going to be dropped for a 9-yard loss by Jerry Dillon.
Wow. Tough call right here, and a great play by East Carolina. Here you see the reverse with Jerry Dillon, who's responsible for the reverse. Broke up and made the play on number 7, Charles Davenport. And still, East Carolina has 2 timeouts remaining.
Running play will pick up 8 of the 9 that they lost just a moment ago. Downs will be stopped by Robert Jones, and now 3rd down. East Carolina looking to the bench, still no signal for a timeout to stop the clock, as we show 3:13, now 3:12 left in the ball game.
I think they have to throw the football here to try to pick this first down up. You can't play passing now because you've got a 3rd and 11 situation. Even if it's an incomplete pass and stops the clock, you've got to try to pick this first down up because East Carolina's too hot to give them the football.
Quick out is dropped.
I think you throw the football, but you got to throw it a little farther down the field to try to pick up the first down. But that's twice that play's been dropped. Now the pressure goes to the punter, Tom Kilpatrick, number 37, because East Carolina's been close on him a couple times of blocking kicks.
Yeah, they really have.
This may be the time that East Carolina wants to set up a return and try to get Deion Johnson in the ball game.
They came after him, lazy spiral. Johnson will get a chance to return. Will he ever? Johnson inside the 45, and he's down at the 42.
Deion Johnson, you want the ball in his hands. He's your best running back. He avoids the tackle, bursts up inside, now picks up great yardage to the 42-yard line and puts his team in a great chance to win this football game. Now North Carolina State's defense has to play a little different right now.
Flags down all over the place. Pass is complete to Fisher.
That should be on the offensive tackle of East Carolina. It looked like he moved just a little bit early.
And right now, the bench, this is a rare situation, but the players are asking the East Carolina fans to be a little quieter because they thought that maybe they couldn't hear the cadence.
Disregard the flag. The defensive team moved into the neutral zone. The offense was in a two-point stance and moved. No play, no foul. Replay the down.
I think East Carolina got away with one there, which is very fortunate for them.
Mike, I didn't look up. Was any time did it come off the clock because they didn't put any back up there? That would be a very important point also. Okay, they just put 5 seconds back on the clock to answer that question. Over the middle, it's Johnson again. And he will be stopped at the 34-yard line by Tyler Lawrence.
Watch the left side of your screen. Here's the play that just before where the tackle moved. You see the right tackle? He moved, and then they didn't get the call. Terry Tillman, number 78.
Pass over the middle again. It is complete. Ball is loose. Recovered by East Carolina at the 30-yard line. And it's Van Buren who got on it. Good heavens. So if you've just joined us, 2 minutes left in the ball game. It is North Carolina State 34, East Carolina 30, and the Pirates are driving with a first down at the Wolfpack 30.
Luke Fisher's been the man on the spot. He's caught the big pass plays for ball possession.
Deep over the middle, incomplete. And he's off his target on that one. Driver is who he wanted.
What if you're East Carolina you look for right now? You're throwing all the short routes and you're doing all the right things. Eventually, you may get one of those defensive backs to bite and be able to get the post behind them. But right now, their strategy is clear to try to keep hitting the open receiver over the middle. Hope NC State misses a tackle or two, and you keep driving down there toward that end zone.
Blake sets very deep, drills his pass, has it complete, and out of bounds is Luke Fisher. And I'll tell you, Blake has now gone with a new career high, and we'll double check it in just a moment. That's going to put him over 350 yards, Mike, for the day. 30 of 51 for 356.
He has had a very impressive day. This is a big third down situation for East Carolina.
.140 left in the ball game. Pass is caught. Fisher will score.
Frankie Valli starting to hum a little bit there wherever he's starting to hum, I believe, right now.
Pumped a little life back in him. I think you're right. Good heavens, what a comeback. 1:32 left in the game, and East Carolina trying to make it a 3-point lead. He's got it. North Carolina State just a moment ago led by 17 points. I believe has been their theme all year. And right now, I believe it is beginning to work again.
Watch Luke Fisher, and again, the missed tackles. He comes down, just runs a little curl route. Good break by Reed on the ball, just couldn't come up with the incompletion, and couldn't come up with a tackle. Jeff Blake, a happy quarterback.
So, if you have just joined us, to mention again, East Carolina, at the beginning of this quarter was down 17 points. And right now it is 1:32 to play. East Carolina 37, North Carolina State 34.
Can't count them out. You can't ever count them out, but I'll tell you can't count NC State out either. They've had the big key on this will be what kind of return they get on the kickoff. Now you start to look at the field goal kicker for North Carolina State, because the pressure may fall on his shoulders if they can get in his range.
Kick is going to come down to Lawrence from the 4. Lawrence has been very tough, and he is again. He'll take it out close to the 30-yard line. So now we have 1:27 left in the ball game. Blake with 4 touchdown passes. That is a new Peach Bowl record. The old record was 3, held by 5 different individuals. Jordan on first down over the middle, has it complete, but it'll only go for about 3 yards as Davis comes up to make the tackle on Chris Williams. And of course, North Carolina State, in their hurry up, will not have a huddle. You got to keep an eye on Davenport, because he's the guy that can break it open.
They've got 3 timeouts left. They've got time.
Pass caught by Chris Williams, and I don't believe he's going to have the first down. Nope, not from where they have spotted him down.
They're going to stop the clock maybe to measure here, which will be a benefit for NC State.
Yep, it sure will. As you can see, under a minute to play in this one.
Now they want the clock back, and NC State's not ready to go. I don't think they know the clock's moving.
Jordan's pass is caught by Williams. Did he catch it in bounds? Yes, just across midfield at the 48. 14 yards, most importantly, a first down, and he stops the clock.
.37 seconds, 3 timeouts.
Jordan deep over the middle, incomplete.
You start thinking about the field goal that you need. Damon Hartman, number 13, has kicked a 56-yard field goal. He'd like to have the opportunity here. This ball club can get him closer.
37-34, East Carolina. 32 ticks left on that clock. Jordan's pass is caught by Davenport, and I'll tell you, he's one man from going the distance.
He was close. I'll tell you, there was movement in the North Carolina State offensive line that time. They got away with one that time.
Greg Floyd tripped him up. So there's a timeout on the field. 37-34, the Pirates. Will be right back. So there's the situation. 26 seconds left. 37-34, East Carolina. Only one tie ever in the Peach Bowl. 74, Vanderbilt and Texas Tech finished deadlocked at 6 apiece. Jordan, heavy pressure, and he will go down. Kumalai, loss of 17.
Well, he knows he made a mistake too, Terry Jordan, because he just had to try to throw the ball away, not take that sack and take himself out of any kind of field goal range. Watch Terry Jordan set up to throw. He's got to be smart. He's got to feel the rush. Now he's got to get rid of the ball. He doesn't get the opportunity because of the pressure of Zion Kumalai, number 50, and Derek Taylor, number 97. A big sack by number 50, Kumalai.
Kumalai wears number 50 because he has tried to pattern his playing style after Chris Zorich, who wore the number 50 for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Dick Sheridan has to be a tad in disbelief as you look at the partisans from East Carolina, because just at the beginning of this quarter, his football team led by 17 points, and we were talking about, was it too much of a hill to climb? And you said at that time, Mike, with this offense, absolutely not.
They're a big play offense. They're always in every ball game. They're, as I said, like a basketball team that shoots three-point plays all the time. They're constantly firing, trying to score.
Well, the next sequence, 1 or 2 plays, which is about all North Carolina State has time left for, certainly could be the biggest play or 2 in East Carolina football history. Zings it over the middle, has it complete, and Hinton at the 30-yard line, and they're going to stop the clock with 6 seconds left. Mike, this is very attainable here, because this would be a 47-yard field goal attempt. It is within the range of Hartman.
Boy, good pass there. There's a lot of time wasted at the end, but watch the throw. Just a nice throw by Terry Jordan to Robert Hinton.
I'll tell you also, the spotting of the football, since he never went down, is terribly important, because every inch from this distance is an absolute mile when you're a kicker, right? Under this kind of pressure.
Sure is. Damon Hartman's from a suburb of Atlanta, Georgia, Roswell, Georgia. Number 13, the place kicker for North Carolina State. If they decide to try the kick now with 6 seconds to go.
Don't you think they've got to?
I don't think they have a choice. You got to try the field goal right now.
The ball has been placed out at the 31. So drop it 7 yards off that. It's going to be a 48-yard attempt.
Now, if I'm East Carolina, they've got a couple timeouts left. Use them.
Icing.
Try to ice him right now.
Well, what Colorado did it 3 straight times to Nebraska.
Remember the block kick early in the game on the extra point. Robert Jones. Watch him come up inside. Try to get as much of a jump as they can inside.
This would tie it. He's got the distance. It is off to the right and no good. One more look. And from that angle, you could see, Mike, he had the distance, didn't he?
He had the distance, just off to the right.
Dick Sheridan starts the long trot across the field, and the reaction on the other side from Bill Lewis, and he realizes his football team has just won.
He's got
their
a top
11th game of the year.
He's got a top 10 football team. I tell you, they came back. They came back against the odds.
So we'll go to break. We'll be back here in Atlanta in just a moment. The Pirates. Well, I've seen Bedlam before. I don't know what you would describe this on the floor of Fulton County Stadium right now. And down in the middle of all that is Adrian Karsten with the winning head coach, Bill Lewis.
Ron, thanks very much. Coach, you described this as the biggest game of your life. How does it feel?
Absolutely. This is the most fun I've ever had with a football team in my whole life. And this was the biggest game. We talked about nobody, players, coaches, nobody had ever been in a bigger, more important football game. And then to have it unfold the way it is, I think it had special meaning to I Believe.
Coach, have you gone as far as you can now here at ECU? Do you take the Georgia Tech job if offered?
No, I don't have any feeling for that. This program can go to the next level, and we talked about it. The fact of being able to come back and do this consistently year in and year out.
On those last two drives, was Jeff Blake calling his own plays because of the time allowed down there?
What we were able to do is we were able to get most of them called from the sideline, and most of the calls came from the sideline.
Coach, enjoy the biggest win of your life. Ron.
Well, let's take one more look at the field goal as we wish you a very happy new year and a great beginning to 1992, as this is going to be wide to the right and no good. And East Carolina, well, the miracle season is theirs. Now for Mike Gottfried, Adrian Karsten.
Last second, but a close battle ended with the Pirates of East Carolina claiming bragging rights over NC State. Good evening, I'm Bob Brennan. Charlie Gaddy has the night off. New Year's Day, and thousands are hanging by their televisions watching the big bowl plays, and certainly there were many in today's Peach Bowl, which pitted two old rivals, East Carolina and North Carolina State University, against each other. WRAL begins tonight's coverage with a live report from Donna Gregory in Atlanta. Donna, this game was so close, there must have been tense fans right down to the last second.
Bob, I wish you could have been here to feel the excitement. You could literally cut it with one of those pirate sabers. It was incredible. The on-again, off-again weather here in Atlanta is off again. The rain has stopped, and it stopped all during the Peach Bowl, but it started up right before and right after. Lots of folks, probably thousands, easily enough, of NC State fans and ECU fans made the trip from North Carolina to Atlanta for this Peach Bowl event. And most of them came with tickets in hand. Lots of folks, however, didn't, and people were selling tickets on the street. As we mentioned in previous reports, scalping is illegal in the state of Georgia, so there were lots of undercover police officers trying to make those purchases, and there were some arrests. However, my husband came without a ticket, and he bought one at face value, no problem. And in fact, when we got into the stadium, we saw someone right before game time selling a ticket for $10. So there were tickets to be had if you came down here without a ticket. I didn't have a seat. I had a press pass. So I sat on the NC State side for a while and the ECU side for a while. And each time I sat, one of the teams was ahead, and I happened to be sitting on the winning side, and it was so exciting. I wish you could have seen the fans screaming, yelling. We're going to show you all those pictures in just a couple of minutes. In fact, the fans themselves would tell you it was worth the wait for this first matchup in 4 years. They started the celebration well before the kickoff. Some brought light refreshments. Others put on a full spread to get into the pregame spirit.
This is what we think. 38-20, the Pirates.
They all had high hopes for a Peach Bowl victory. The weather forecast called for some frost on the Peach, so they came bundled up for 4 chilly quarters. Some of the fans waited until just before the Peach Bowl started to pick up their souvenir from the big game. The vendors offered lots of bowl game mementos for a price. Once inside, a record 59,322 fans found their seats and got ready for a 4-hour cheer-a-thon. With such a close score at halftime, neither side was ready to admit defeat.
State's going to win. Yeah, they're going to make their comeback. They'll pull it out. They'll pull it through.
It doesn't matter to us who wins. She goes to State, and I went to ECU, so it doesn't matter.
With a 20-point rally by the Wolfpack, Pirate fans thought they'd be seeing red the rest of the game. But a Pirate comeback brought the sea of purple and gold alive. After the last play, State fans were stunned. ECU supporters rushed the field. Fans for both teams had emotional reactions.
Unbelievable. What are you talking about? We won. We won. Unreal. We won, and we deserved it. Kid, after 4 years of watching us suck, we deserved it. It's kind of like a roller coaster. And then it's kind of like you think the kick's going to go in and like Santa Claus didn't come down the chimney, maybe.
Some disappointed NC State fans, but lots of emotion running on both sides. And the fans left Atlanta and Fulton County Stadium with memories of a great Peach Bowl game and hopes of being in another bowl game at the end of the next football season. Bob?
Okay, thanks, Donna. ECU and State fans who couldn't watch the game from the stadium in Atlanta found other places to root for their favorite teams. WRAL's Ann Reynolds and Les Boney captured the excitement from TV side seats in Raleigh and Greenville.
There was excitement in the air in downtown Greenville today. If there was no excitement outside in downtown Greenville today, there was a good reason. Listen closely. At the Attic in downtown Greenville, 150 leftover fans screamed at a 15-foot screen in pleasure and pain.
It doesn't matter how you look at it. Pirates, no matter how you look at it.
Across the town at another bar, kinder, gentler screams, but they were still screaming. This was not a day to be a Pack fan in Pirate Town.
Do you feel at all alone in this bar? Very alone. There's two of us, and that's it.
Pirate fans savored the moments, highs, lows, and then the comeback.
It's only 10 points.
An unbelievable comeback, unless you're a Pirates fan. In case you don't read lips, he's saying, "We believe." Leslie Boney, WRAL TV5 News, Greenville.
At Daryl's just footsteps from the North Carolina State campus, students were studying the action on television. It's not every year their football team gets invited to a bowl game or play an in-state rival like ECU. State graduate Robert Norville has been looking forward to this day for years.
When I graduated back in '82, it was pretty bleak. Those few years after that, it's really good to see the team doing really
Glad they've come around.
Yeah, I am.
Everyone is glad the Wolfpack won the trip to Atlanta. The problem is that's where a lot of people were today. Several other factors also kept a lot of fans from watching the game in Raleigh.
The game, of course, is played today on New Year's Day when students are on break, and many have just gone to bed just hours before after a full night of celebrating the new year.
It left the door open for ECU party crashers, something many State fans weren't too happy about.
You're sitting with the enemy here.
Well, I'm tolerating the enemy, that's all I'm doing.
But you feel kind of strange voting for ECU?
Sort of, yeah. But I guess I'll fit in with the rest of the crowd here.
State student and waiter Dave Oakstrader was glad he wasn't serving a full house. It meant less time with the customers and more time to take short breaks to watch the game.
The State's playing football. If they're playing football or basketball, we always get to watch some of the game.
It's your team.
Yeah, hell yeah, I'm excited. Really excited.
Even more exciting if State got the victory. After all, as one fan here put it, winning, especially over ECU, is everything.
This one was full of emotion, a tough loss for NC State. What a great win for the program at East Carolina. And you have seen the highlights from television. What you haven't seen are the highlights according to Jeff Gravely and Jay Jennings. So here now, the game.
Bring it home to Peaches, baby!
No scenario better than this. Big crowd, feisty rivals, and players tuned and ready. NC State wants to run, and they do. Anthony Barber for a good gain. Barber picks up the good yards to get in position. Gary Downs smacks it in for the score. NC State 7-0 over ECU. The Pirates drive it right back. Jeff Blake finishes with a 5-yard pass to Cedric Van Buren. Tie ball game, 7s at the end of one quarter. NC State quarterback Terry Jordan back from the broken arm. A 4-yard touchdown pass to Todd Harrison. State leads 14-7. Now the Pirates score 10 straight. A 27-yard Anthony Brenner field goal. And the bomb. Jeff Blake to Hunter Gallimore, 55 yards. East Carolina leads 17-14 at the half. State jumps right back from the locker room. Terry Jordan to Robert Hinton. How about the move? 21-17 Pack. State adds 13 more points to the lead. Here's the tricky one. Jordan to Liddell George to Charles Davenport. 55 yards on the play. 34-17. State leads in the fourth. East Carolina got to do it fast. Jeff Blake's seen it before, and he's going to do it again. He runs for 1 touchdown, cuts the lead to 10 points. Then from 17 yards out, he connects to Deion Johnson. The state lead is cut to 4. The time is short, and Blake needs help for the final 2 minutes of this miracle season. Deion Johnson supplies the fun, a punt return all the way to NC State's front door. And here we go. 1 minute, 40 seconds to play in the season. Blake to Luke Fisher again. 37-34 Pirates, but the Pack has one last gasp. A 47-yard try for the tie from Damon Hartland. Nope. The final score, East Carolina 37, North Carolina State 34. Bob, it's the 11th win in a row for East Carolina and Bill Lewis. The latest on Bill Lewis, he is still the coach with ECU. He says he has not been contacted about the vacancy at Georgia Tech yet. That's as of about an hour and a half ago, and we do expect Bill Lewis to be returning with the team right now to East Carolina's campus. Back to you.
Believe ECU rings in 1992 with a big win over NC State. Happy New Year's, everyone. I'm Rex Rowland. In an incredible game that had everyone sitting on the edge of their seats, ECU came back from a 17-point decline and pulled a miracle. We have a series of reports for you from the Peach Bowl in Atlanta. Brian Bailey and Todd Gibson will have highlights later on in the cast. If you were in Greenville today, you could hear ECU fans yelling from one end of the city to the other.
It's the best game I've ever seen. We had an awesome crowd in here. They were cheering the whole time. We only had 2 state people, and they scurried out on that missed field goal. It was great. It was great. It's the best game I've ever seen in my life.
The fans stuck it out, and everyone definitely believed ECU could do it. In the end, the fans weren't disappointed, and no one but the parties will continue into the wee hours of the morning. And in Raleigh, the home of NC State, you could find a rivalry brewing in bars where fans from both teams watched the highlights of the Peach Bowl. Dave Savini was there and got these reactions.
There was standing room only as Wolfpack fans were out in full force, trying to cheer their team on to victory. But their screams and howls would come and go as they watched what many are calling the most exciting Peach Bowl game ever. And since it was only shown on cable, scores of students took to the local bars. Others watched from the streets. Even the workers in a nearby McDonald's couldn't help from tuning in. It seemed the only thing really missing were ECU fans. But then it happened. ECU junior Tina Turner made her way through Wolfpack country, armed with her mother and sister. Together, they watched the game with concern. With the Pirates down by 10 late in the game, NC State fans reminded them continuously, but they stayed nonetheless. You weren't scared at all? You weren't afraid at all to come down to NC State territory and watch the game?
No, not at all. I'm proud of ECU, and I'm not ashamed to be here.
And her mother wasn't ashamed either, even though her husband roots for State.
My husband's a State fan, and I'm a Carolina fan, so we've had some rivalry, and if I have an opportunity to root against State, I will.
And root they did as Wolfpack cheers turned to tears. Even the bars got quiet as last-minute hopes slipped away. And when the final score came up with the Pirates on top, the bars were abandoned. One look at the faces that lined Hillsborough Street, and you didn't have to see the game to know who won. Dave Savini, News Center 9, the First in News.
Coming up on News Center 9, good luck for everyone this new year.
But I believe was never put to the test more than it was today. The Pirates found themselves behind 34-17 in the fourth quarter, and frankly, things did not look good.
We did it. It's the greatest feeling in the world. I can't explain it. It's great. They thought they had us, but we never gave up. We just kept fighting the whole time.
East Carolina fans did not give up, and neither did the team. And when Luke Fisher scored the game winner, the Pirates had an unbelievable come-from-behind win in the 24th annual Peach Bowl.
I think everybody's either scared or worried, you know, but that's part of life. But I never gave up. That's the point. No, I think as long as you never give up in tight situations, you never know what can happen.
37-34 Pirates. I believe, and you can bet football fans throughout the nation, do too. From Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta, Todd Gibson.
The Bucks spent 1991 by believing. Before a Peach Bowl record crowd of 59,322 frenzied fans, the Pirates made an amazing 3-touchdown comeback and beat North Carolina State 37-34. State jumped out on top when Gary Downs went in, 7-0 Pack with the lead. The Pirates countered in the first quarter. Jeff Blake to Cedric Van Buren were tied 7-7. The Pack went back on top. Terry Jordan to Todd Harrison for a 14-7 North Carolina State lead. Anthony Brenner connected from 27 yards out, and then Blake connected to Hunter Gallimore on a 55-yard bomb.
It was just a play that we've never run before, and Jeff told me to be looking real hard at the pattern, and he just decided to throw it to me. It was a great throw, though.
East Carolina led 17-14 at the half. Third quarter, all Wolfpack. Jordan to Robert Hinton for 6. And then Greg Maynor in close, and all of a sudden the Pirates trail 27-17. Deion Johnson mishandled a Pack punt. That led to what looked to be the backbreaker when former Havelock star Liddell George hit Charles Davenport on the flea flicker. The Pack celebrating a 34-17 lead, and it got worse. Blake's first rally stalled on the interception. But with new life, the Pirates scrapped back. East Carolina unveiled the shotgun and drove down the field. Jeff Blake capping it off with a touchdown, 34-24. Pirates still trail by 10. The Pirate defense held, and East Carolina got another shot. Blake loading up from the gun, firing the shot to Deion Johnson. The Pirates missed the try for 2 and trailed 34-30. Again, the Pirate defense held, and again, Blake fired away. This time hitting Luke Fisher for what proved to be the game winner.
I feel great, baby. We did it. Hey, we did it all year long. Hey, we're the best team in the country, folks, like I said. Definitely won, baby.
State still had time, but again, the Pirate defense came up with a big play on the sack. 6 seconds on the clock, and Damon Hartman had a chance to tie. The field goal goes wide. East Carolina had its 11th win in a row in the 1992 Peach Bowl Trophy.
Talked about it before the season, having no idea of what the wins and losses would be, but we asked them to accept their roles as they started to become defined. We asked coachable, and they were coachable.
To the group in Kinston and then come back here. It's what this whole thing is about. There's a tremendous spirit here in Eastern North Carolina.
Bill Lewis and his ECU Pirates take it all by beating NC State. Happy New Year's, everyone. I'm Rex Rowland. Thousands of cheering fans greeted the Pirates when they got back to Greenville tonight, and there were no non-believers in this group. ECU pulled miracles in the fourth quarter of the Peach Bowl and ended up pouncing NC State 37-34. Brian Bailey and Todd Gibson were in Atlanta. They have these reports.
East Carolina's Pirates rang in 1992 the same way the Bucks spent 1991, by believing. Before a Peach Bowl record crowd of 59,322 frenzied fans, the Pirates made an amazing 3-touchdown comeback and beat North Carolina State 37-34. State jumped out on top when Gary Downs went in, 7-0 Pack with the lead. The Pirates countered in the first quarter. Jeff Blake to Cedric Van Buren were tied 7-7. The Pack went back on top. Terry Jordan to Todd Harrison for a 14-7 North Carolina State lead. Anthony Brenner connected from 27 yards out, and then Blake connected to Hunter Gallimore on a 55-yard bomb.
It was just a play that we've never run before, and Jeff told me to be looking real hard at the pattern, and he just decided to throw it to me. It was a great throw, though.
East Carolina led 17-14 at the half. Third quarter, all Wolfpack. Jordan to Robert Hinton for 6. And then Greg Maynor in close, and all of a sudden the Pirates trail 27-17. Deion Johnson mishandled a Pack punt. That led to what looked to be the backbreaker when former Havelock star Liddell George hit Charles Davenport on the flea flicker. The Pack celebrating a 34-17 lead, and it got worse. Blake's first rally stalled on the interception. But with new life, the Pirates scrapped back. East Carolina unveiled the shotgun and drove down the field. Jeff Blake capping it off with a touchdown, 34-24. Pirates still trail by 10. The Pirate defense held, and East Carolina got another shot. Blake loading up from the gun, firing the shot to Deion Johnson. The Pirates missed the try for 2 and trailed 34-30. Again, the Pirate defense held, and again, Blake fired away. this time hitting Luke Fisher for what proved to be the game winner.
I feel great, baby. Hey, we did it all year long. Hey, we're the best team in the country, as far as I'm concerned. We won, baby.
State still had time, but again, the Pirate defense came up with a big play on the sack. 6 seconds on the clock, and Damon Hartman had a chance to tie. The field goal goes wide. East Carolina had its 11th win in a row in the 1992 Peach Bowl Trophy.
Talked about it before the season, having no idea of what the wins and losses would be, but we asked them to accept their roles as they started to become defined. We asked them to be coachable, and they were coachable. And then they took their very special talents, and they found a way to use them to their maximum, to their outer limits. And because of that, they became a very special football team.
You know, it's a big disappointment to all of us not to win this game. Our players had really worked hard, invested a lot the entire year in preparing for this ball game, and so there's a deep disappointment that we all share right now, and you know, let's go take a good while for that to lessen.
East Carolina 37, North Carolina State 34. The Pirates win the Peach Bowl in unbelievable fashion. Or do you believe? SportsCenter 9's Todd Gibson has more on the Pirates' familiar cry.
That's right, Brian. It's a short phrase. The words are simple, but I believe was never put to the test more than it was today. The Pirates found themselves behind 34-17 in the fourth quarter, and frankly, things did not look good.
We need it. It's the greatest feeling in the world. I can't explain it. They thought they had us.
The Peach Bowl champion ECU Pirates arrived home. Hundreds of fans were on hand to greet the coaches and the players who were, to say the least, overwhelmed.
But this is just the end of a perfect season to be able to come home to this. Our fans in the stadium were unbelievable. They really were. And to be able to come home to this is very special.
There was a little hesitation, but we never doubted that we could win. And the guys just started coming behind each other saying, hey, you got to keep your heads up, believe. We believed all year we can pull this one off.
The Pirates had pulled it off all right. They beat NC State 37-34. Undoubtedly the most exciting game of any of the bowl games,
no doubt,
this year. My father even called from Kentucky, said everybody up there was watching ECU beat NC State. Exciting game.
They certainly made a national mark yesterday for sure.
Oh, they did. They did indeed.
And I have an idea that ECU should be national champions.
Really?
They instituted the Miami rule, which is the taunting rule this year, which everybody knows about. That happened with Miami last year in their bowl game. Remember ECU against Illinois? That may have cost them the game. That call the officials said was wrong, so they could be 12-0. They could be national champions. Bob Buckley has the complete wrap-up from Hotlanta when we come back. I don't know whether you know this or not, but in the 12 games ECU played this year, the Pirates came from behind 8 times. And when they fell behind 34-17 yesterday in the Peach Bowl, the team lived up to their self-adopted slogan for the season, "We Believe." The Pirates' gut check produced the most exciting game on New Year's Day. Bob Buckley wraps up a game that propelled the Pirates into the top 10.
Bring on the pageantry. It's showtime. After weeks of anxious anticipation, ECU and NC State finally took out their accumulated energies on the field where the pleasantries were spared.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rivalry. You're going to have some harsh things said. You know, if I said them on this camera right now, that'd be all beeped out, so it wouldn't matter anyhow. So I'm not going to tell you what the words were.
As you'd expect, things were rough on the field, especially for Pirate linebacker Ken Burnett, who was having a strong game until he broke his arm.
At first, when I came out of the game, they said, well, we think it's broke, we got to get x-rayed. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Last game I'm ever going to get to play, and here I am sitting. But
at first, NC State had more success converting energy into points. Scary Downs over the top on State's first possession. Later, quarterback Terry Jordan hit Todd Harrison, and State led 14-7. Meanwhile, ECU's offense was sputtering. Then, the first big Pirate breakthrough with less than 2 minutes to go in the half. Jeff Blake and Hunter Gallimore hook up for a 55-yard score.
When Hunter Gallimore scored that touchdown right here, the Pirates thought they had the play that they needed. They were up 17-14, but then Terry Jordan and Anthony Barber led the Wolfpack back.
Barber finished with 90 yards rushing. Jordan's second TD pass, taken in by Robert Hinton, helped the Pack to a 34-17 lead in the fourth quarter. Deep in Pirate players' eyes, you could see them questioning their belief and then affirming it on the field.
One more time, defense, let's go!
The Pirates scored 20 points in less than 6 minutes. First, Deion Johnson pulling the Pirates to within a play, then the play. Blake to Luke Fisher, one of his dozen catches for 144 yards, the 5 most important yards on this dive. The Pirates led by 3. But they had to hold on. State drove into position for a game-tying field goal attempt by Damon Hartman. As the kick went up, Pirate heart stood still.
As the ball was kicked, and I turned around real slow. I didn't want to turn around instantly. I turned around real slow, and I saw the ball wide, wide right. And when I seen it, it was just, man, it was so exciting. I just started jumping up.
And for ECU fans, the dream was complete. Pirates 37, Pack 34. Bob Buckley in Atlanta for Eastern Carolina's News Channel.
A super story and a super game. A Cinderella story for ECU finally comes true. Take a look at your AP Top 25. The Miami Hurricanes, 22-0 winners over Nebraska last night. They take the national championship just by a few points over the Washington Huskies. Both teams undefeated at 12-0. ECU could have been up there too. Penn State, Florida State, and Alabama round out your top 5. 6 through 10 finds East Carolina. There they are at number 9, their highest ranking ever. At Syracuse is number 11. Texas A&M is number 12, followed by Notre Dame, Tennessee, Nebraska. 16 through 20, Oklahoma, Georgia, Clemson, the first ACC entry. They finish at 18. UCLA and then Colorado. And 21 through 25, the Hurricanes from Tulsa, Stanford, Brigham Young, NC State. There they are at 24. And Air Force rounds out your top 25. We spoke with Coach Bill Lewis today. His reaction to ECU's highest ranking ever.
We showed this year that all of the individual dreams, all of the team dreams, and now all of this type of recognition dreams can happen at East Carolina. And I think that'll be awfully important and awful positive note for us now to carry back as we pick up our recruiting after the bowl break.
And when Coach Bill Lewis arrived with just a few players back in Kinston last night, Lewis praised his team's big come-from-behind win. But now that the game is over, the big question everyone wants to know, has Georgia Tech been talking to you, Coach?
Enjoy this Peach Bowl victory, and I think you've been very diplomatic in your responses, but if Georgia Tech comes knocking or...
has crowned 2 national champions. The Associated Press selecting Miami in the closest vote ever. The CNN USA Today coaches poll like Washington. Both polls did agree, though, on East Carolina's 9th place ranking to end the season. Yesterday's 37-34 win over North Carolina State in the Peach Bowl was more than just a game for the Pirates and all of Eastern North Carolina. It was a chance to show a nation that East Carolina belongs among college football's best. And even if you saw the game in person or on ESPN, you didn't see it through our camera's eyes. Kevin O'Brien has some magnificent pictures of the Pirates in the Peach.
Programs! Peach Bowl programs!
Should be fun for you. There's going to be a lot of excitement for you to capture on the cameras.
All right, everybody, here we go.
It was an absolute gem of a game, the greatest Peach Bowl ever, according to Executive Director Robert Dale Morgan. Other notes from Atlanta, Pirate coach Bill Lewis said again today that he had not been contacted by anyone at Georgia Tech concerning that opening. Lewis and Georgia Tech defensive coordinator George O'Leary are believed to be the front runners for the position vacated by Bobby Ross. Other notes, as I mentioned, the Associated Press like Miami. The CNN USA Today coaches poll tabbed Washington in college football's mythical national championship battle. The Canes shut out Nebraska in the Orange Bowl, while the Huskies dominated Michigan in the road. So who is number one?
Two great football teams.